along to today's very special episode. I'm your host, Chantal Broderick, and throughout COVID-19, we're bringing you a series of special video interviews with key industry operators from right across the globe. Now, it's my absolute pleasure to be introducing you to today's guest. She was formerly on the show in episode 188. Rachel Cosgrove is the owner of Results Fitness and Results Fitness University. Rachel, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
We are really thrilled that that you're joining us and that you're going to share a little bit about what you guys have been going through all of this, what kind of actions and strategies you have put into place. But before we talk about that, for anyone that isn't familiar with the business, do you want to tell us a little bit about Results Fitness?
Sure. So Results Fitness, we're actually coming up on our 20th anniversary in May, which, we were kind of excited heading into this year. This is going to be our 20th anniversary year. And thought I had more of a party in mind, but, change of plans. So,
roll with it.
We're just going to roll with it. So we opened 20 years ago, my husband and I, really with a passion to help people and on a mission to change the way fitness is done. We really were frustrated with the standards in our industry. We wanted to really create, a different environment. And so it's kind of crazy now because we've been since this all came about, we're like, well, we are now literally changing the way fitness is done. It's, it's happening. So, but we've been, I don't know how much you want me to go into it, but we've been running our business for 20 years now. So, and then we started Results Fitness University, where we help other fitness business owners basically to set up their systems and create gyms that are based off of our model. And so that's where we spend the majority of our time now, that our gym runs itself, and we get to just go in and give our team high fives and, be a part of the fun culture in the community and seeing our clients get the results. But we aren't as much in the day-to-day. And so we get to help other fitness business owners to create the same type of thing.
And I love that, Rachel, because I think it gives you such an interesting perspective to talk about all of this at the moment, because you'll not only be familiar with what you have done in your own business, but I'm sure you have a really great insight into what other operators have done. So let's have a bit of a talk about that. What sort of impact have you seen, be it for Results Fitness or that you've also seen as a flow on from Results Fitness University? What sort of impact have you seen as a result of COVID-19 so far?
So it's been a big shift, a big pivot, obviously. So the fitness business owners that we work with, they were actually out here for our mastermind. We do a mastermind 3 times a year, literally the week before this all started to happen. And so we, got that mastermind, I'm like grateful we had it because we were all together just before this all started. So the strength that we all had, we started to even brainstorm as we started to see, the news things just started to spiral so quickly that by the time they were getting on their planes to head back to their gyms, we were all kind of like, okay, what's going to happen? And within a couple days, our gyms were all getting shut down. And so it pulled us all, super tight together to work closely together to figure out, okay, what pivots are we going to make? So I've been fortunate to be able to, work closely with not only our gym and our team, but also all of these gyms around the world. Really, we have gyms all over there, everywhere from Canada to Ireland to England to, everywhere, all over. So, so I get to hear everything going on all over the world, and really everything we've been doing, I kind of joked around with them is, they've been running alongside us, like usually I'm like, hey guys, this is what we did and here's what you should do. And instead I'm like, quick, we're going now, like, go, you got to keep up. Yeah. I was like, we gotta go. And so it's literally been, running alongside us. The cool part was when at the mastermind with all of them here, we actually have been researching quite a bit of technology. And it was something that this year, in our 20th anniversary year, we were going to really start to integrate a lot of technology and streamline a lot of what we were doing. And, for us over the 20 years, when you look back, there wasn't Facebook or any of that back when we first opened. And so things have changed really, a lot. And as we look forward at the next 10 years, I kind of had this vision of in the next 10 years, it's going to be, a lot of change. I didn't know it was going to be like within the next month, but so, talking to all of them at our mastermind and showing them everything we were working on and all the technology we were thinking about putting into place. And, some of them were kind of like, I don't know if this is all necessary. And do we need all this technology? And, this is going to be a lot to change. And so I gave them this big speech about how, well, in 10 years from now, our industry is going to be heading in this direction. And so, either jump on board with us and, let's get going, because we want to lead the way. We don't want to fall behind, and if we're going to keep doing what we do, leading the way and changing the way fitness is done. This is where this industry is going. It's, it's really going to become more and more, we're going to need to integrate more and more technology. Not that technology is going to become the end all be all, because I think there's nothing that replaces the in-person coaching atmosphere. But, I think it's something that all of us now you absolutely need to embrace. But, at the time it was kind of something that I thought, so I told them we're going to have, like our programming software and everything we're going to have rolled out by like June, and then we can get all of you guys on board. Like, I can show you in June, we can get you all on board. And maybe by the end of the year, we'll all be, a little more tech, So yeah, basically by Monday, we were all up and running with our new software, everything in place, shooting videos and getting everything going. So it was kind of crazy.
Isn't it incredible? I've actually heard quite a few people talking about the fact that COVID-19 has kind of skyrocketed the fitness industry into the future within a very, very tight period of time. So you're exactly right. And how lucky, I guess, was it that you had that conference at that time?
Oh my gosh. Well, just that we were like already thinking, that we'd already done the research. Like I was just so grateful that we had already done the research. I had already shared it with them, so they knew what I was talking about. It wasn't like, this blind thing. We weren't like all of a sudden grabbing a random programming software or like, we had already done the research and we were basically just, the stuff we had planned to get done over the next few months, we ended up getting done within like a couple of days. And it absolutely, fast tracked a lot for us. And so getting all of our clients onboarded onto that programming software and getting all of our, affiliate gyms, so they all had it in place to share with their clients. And then, and then other things, of course, like learning, like Zoom and, all of the other technology that I got.
Zoom.
It's like,
very
yeah. And I'm grateful because we were using it with our coaching members for our coaching calls. And so, for our team, I was like, well, let me show you guys how to use Zoom, and so they've all learned. Yeah.
That's very cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
So what I would love to do is talk about some specifics. So you mentioned that very quickly you kind of got everyone up and running on new tech software. Let's talk about what, if we look at Results Fitness specifically as a case study, what did the transition look like from a staffing perspective and from a member perspective? Because obviously at some point during that time period, or at some point during the last sort of 4 to 5 weeks, you would have had to shut the doors, I assume, of the business. So what does that experience look like for the members? Tell us some specifics around what actions you had to take to change the way that you operated over the last kind of month or so.
Absolutely. So it was very unexpected. We, the day that we got shut down, our mayor actually had done a speech about how he was not going to shut down gyms or restaurants. And so I actually thought we were okay. I'm like, okay, and our clients were all still coming in and we were keeping everything really clean and we were communicating. And I think communication is one of the keys with all of this. I even was communicating before that of how we were cleaning everything and we were pretty strict about our cleaning strategies anyway, but we upped it even more and just really making sure nobody was coming in with any symptoms and really making our clients feel comfortable. And I think the more you communicate when you're going through something like this, the more comfortable your clients will feel that you're in control. They just want to know that you're in control. You know what you're doing. You have a plan in place, and that they don't have to worry about you. Because I think they start to worry if you don't communicate. And so just communicating with them, and then so that afternoon, after thinking we were going to be fine, the county, LA County, we're in Los Angeles County, decided to shut down gyms, and so it was literally, we were like, oh, never mind. And I mean, we had clients planning to come in that evening and like a class plan that evening. And, so it was a quick turnaround. And so my number one thing to our team was we still have to show up. And so we actually streamed our first class that night at 4:30. I said, we're jumping on Facebook Live and we're going to stream our first class. And they were like, what are you talking about? I'm like, yep. I'm like, we got to show up. Like we had clients who were planning to be here for our class. We can do this. And so set up the iPad. I mean, it wasn't perfect, and I think that's one of the keys is imperfect action is what's winning right now. Like people who are just getting it done. And the cool part is that there's never been a more forgiving time of not being perfect, right? Like you can just roll with stuff. And like, if your clients are like, okay, whatever, like they're not, going to be picky about, oh my gosh, I can't believe you didn't know what you were doing.
First time for everyone, right? This
totally,
is first time stuff for everyone.
So it makes it so fun. Because you can just, like find a solution, to a way to show up, a delivery system and try it, like just jump in and try it. And so I think the gym owners and the trainers who are overthinking and are putting too much pressure on yourself to really try to get it perfect right away, and becoming paralyzed. Like, your clients need you right now, and so find a way to show up. And so we really, communication and showing up, as fast as we could, and then really pivoting what we do. So my goal was, it's not about an online business. It's about doing what we do in a different delivery system. So we call it remote coaching. It's not online coaching, it's remote coaching. And so really just looking at the services we were already offering to our clients, and what's the best, way we can do this remotely, like with what we have, the restrictions we have right now, how do we keep doing this? And so for us, our expertise in our customized programming are one of the things that our clients hire us for. It's not, that they want our programming. We design an individualized program for every client. We take them through a screen. They want that specific program written for them. And of course, they love having a coach to take them through that program and be there with them. But, we can still get them that customized program. And so that's where having the software came into place. And we're using Bridge Athletic, which I highly recommend. And so we got all of our programs in there and got our clients all uploaded, and then got them all their individualized programs with videos. So we shot videos real quick of all the exercises. And so they can click on the exercise, see the video of the exercise. They can actually take a video of themselves and send it to the coach, and so they can have as much interaction as we can do right now. And the coach can give them feedback on the exercise. And, there can still be communication, and there can still be as close as we can. And so it's remote coaching. And so that piece, we felt like, okay, this is as close as we can get. We also offered group classes. And so those we now stream online. And so that's the replacement for that. And then of course our community. I mean, we have a, really amazing community. And so we have a private Facebook group, which I just tell our team, every day we all have to open the doors of Results Fitness, which right now is our private Facebook group. So just make sure we all open the doors of Results Fitness and walk in and, comment on some of our clients' posts, put a post up, like just interact with our people, because that's what's going to keep our community alive. And so that private Facebook group has basically been our community. And so that's, really just trying to take what we had. And so really the only things that are missing are the in-person, face-to-face energy exchange. That's huge, but, we can't do that right now. So we also, how we replaced that was we do 15-minute Zoom calls with each client. So each coach has a list of clients they're in charge of. And so they get on a call for 15 minutes and, touch base on Zoom. And that's been huge for our clients and for our team as coaches, just to like fill up their coaching bucket, feel like having that connection with their clients and see that the programs are working and see that they are doing them and that they are helping their clients. And so that's been really huge. And so that, and then, access to equipment, which we ended up renting out our equipment. So we let our clients come and clean out our gym basically. So they all showed up and grabbed different pieces of equipment. And we made that, basically as a package part of our memberships. And so we didn't discount our membership services. We feel like we gave the value, and our clients agree because they stayed with us. So we've been able to retain, at the 4-week point, we were at 95%. Right now we're at 90%. So I know we're going to drop off over time, and but I'm like 90% of our clients are still with us, which I'm like, just, so grateful for. And that's even with renewals, like, cause we had renewals this month, and, so our clients, they sign up on an annual agreement. So this month, they could basically say no, thank you. And instead they're saying yes, and so we were at 75% renewal this month, which I was like going to be happy with, like a 50%. I was like, with these circumstances, this is kind of crazy. And no, they're all sticking with us. And, we've had good numbers, and, but it's, we're not getting a ton of new members in. We are working on we have marketing out there, and we have 2 new members so far since this all went down. So we're already getting new members coming in, but, I think the key is to figure out how you can do what you do as close as possible under the circumstances.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. And there's a couple of things that stood out to me there, Rachel, and thank you so much for giving us that insight, because I was going to ask you about whether or not you're still charging normal membership rates. And I think you're right. Like, it sounds like, and that's what I've seen a number of operators do, is just really ramp up that value of what you're offering to your members in order to continue to charge their normal membership fees. And I wanted to just acknowledge what you said about those 15-minute coaching calls that your trainers are doing with your members, because I feel as though that's beneficial not only to maintain consistency. But when we think about the type of personalities of our coaches or our group fitness instructors, they thrive on being able to give back, on get results for clients, on communication. And to me, as a coach myself, I feel like that is just as important for our staff as it is for our clients.
Completely.
To have that communication piece and to be able to help someone, which is what makes us tick, really, isn't
right.
it? You know, so I think that's a beautiful part of the service that you're providing your clients.
It's definitely, and we see that with our team, because we get on a Zoom call every morning I get on with our team every morning. And so in the beginning, we didn't have those Zoom calls in place yet. We got them in place the second week. And, you know, you just see them kind of starting to get deflated, you know, like, how does this work? Like, I'm not going to see our clients, and, you know, and like, just like, what's their, you know, what's my point of being if I don't get to connect with people, right?
Absolutely.
And
that's
then
their purpose.
we got those Zoom calls in place, and like the next morning, you know, whoever did their Zoom calls the day before would just be like, oh my God, I talked to so-and-so and so-and-so, and they're doing great. You know, it was just like this like different person came alive, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like I say that their coach's heart got filled up, you know, because it was just like, you just see them like, okay, you know, we're going to be okay. We got this, you know? So it's definitely, so you as a coach, and I think a lot of the fitness business owners I've worked with don't realize how much we need that. Like, we need that interaction. And so make sure, jump on those Zoom calls. I know people have been avoiding it, or they're like, I don't know about getting on Zoom, or my clients don't want to, or just like make them get on and connect with them, because it's going to be important for you and for the client.
Yeah, and I think you're so right. Like, it fills their heart. That's what drives us. Is that's that purpose that drives so many of us. So I'm so glad that you brought that up. And the other section that I wanted to talk about is, you described the Facebook community. I think you said, make sure to your trainers, make sure you go on every day and open the doors to Results Fitness. And I love that kind of thinking about what that looks like and making sure that everyone's interacting. So do you want to tell us just a little bit about that community? Because I know that there's a lot of operators out there that are trying to, and still have the opportunity to, really reach out to their community, their members, and sometimes even beyond that. If they've got, say, a facility that's in a small town or a suburb, maybe they want to even reach to people that aren't even their members, but they just want to use this time to really try to engage that community spirit. Is there any kind of advice on what you've done, or what you would advise other operators to do to create conversation, to create connection, and impact the people that are within your Facebook community?
Yeah, I mean, I think because we went into it with such a strong community, it definitely right away was, you know, everybody just wanted to stay in touch with each other. And it was actually more active, than it used to be, because everybody was like, you know, we want to see everybody and talk to everybody. And so, so that obviously helps. But one of the keys that I think is, you know, you have to start with you being the leader and show them how to do it. So you showing up live, you know, like I was doing, I jump in live at least once a week, and, you know, just say, hey guys, and whenever I jump in live, like I see them all, like all these, you know, all their names pop up, you know, and hi, you know, and they just want to, like, you know, it's good to hear from you. It makes me feel normal, you know. And so even just you, like your voice coming in live and just like, you know, hey guys, I just want to, they want to know you're okay. They want to know you have, you know, like what's in place. Again, communication, make sure you're communicating, you know, hey, you know, here's what we're going to continue to do. Like a lot of our clients right now are like, are you going to keep doing the online option when you reopen? You know, they're worried about that. And yes, we are. So whatever you feel comfortable doing, if you don't feel comfortable coming back to the gym, that's okay. You can keep working out with us, you know, until you're ready. Like, it's not a big deal. So, so just make sure you're communicating. And one of the best ways to do that is jump on live. I think people like to see that live person. So, and that can also be on your main Facebook page too, is, you know, so that's my challenge to everyone, is if you haven't gone live yet, and I know it's nerve wracking, but again, just remember, like, and if you're live, there's, like, again, you know, they're more forgiving because you're live. So you can say, you can, you know, screw up, because it's not an edited perfect, you know, video. It's you live being yourself. And so just when you're looking in the camera, picture one of your clients, you know, picture somebody you want to talk to, and don't look at the camera and don't freak out at the camera. Picture that client. If you need to get a picture of a client, or, you know, that's what I always do, is try to think of somebody that I'm talking to, because then that helps me to just talk to that person. And it's not, you know, you don't get nervous and anxious about it. but
That's
that would be
such
my
great
challenge, is
advice.
go
And
live.
to be
And
fair, like when you've done it a few times, it does become that little bit easier, doesn't it, to jump on? There's
it
definitely
does.
the butterflies and the heart races a little bit for the
Oh,
first couple of
totally.
times, but then it becomes second nature. And I think you're so right. Like people want to see you raw. They don't want to see kind of everything staged and in a perfect spot. You know, one of the things that I've loved watching throughout all of this is someone in their lounge room, somewhere in their backyard or whatever it might be, just in their space. And I
Hmm.
think, you know, I've seen a lot of clubs broadcast from doing exercises like in the gym environment, which is fine if you can do that. But I actually think there's a lot to be said for the trainers and the gyms out there that are just doing it in their lounge room, because that's what our members are doing most of the time. So
Yeah.
why not, you know, if you can, it's very relatable to be in that situation. So I think the Facebook Live advice is paramount. Do you find that when you do a Facebook Live, do you go in there with a goal or a plan or a structure, or do you wing it?
No, I always have like at least like a bullet points, like 2 or 3 bullet points I know I want to hit. So that's, definitely when I go in, there's some kind of a plan. Otherwise you can end up rambling all over the place, and, it's for sure you want to, or you can end up completely paralyzed and just like, so you definitely want to have a little bit of a bullet point of, maybe a story or something you want to tell. I think stories are so relatable. So if you have a point you want to make, and you have a story that's related to it, that's a great way to connect with your clients and just jump on and just be like, hey, you guys, this happened to me today and it was so crazy. I know we're all having a hard time right now with, like I think last week I talked about like the blown tire syndrome, like which is, if you blow a tire on your car, do you run around and blow all the other tires? No, you fix the tire and get back on the road. So I was just jumped on and was like, hey, you guys, I know all of us may be experiencing a little, blown tire here or there. Maybe, we had a splurge. Maybe we start the day off all motivated. And then, by the end of the day, we're all diving into our quarantine food. And so, just remember, fix your tire and get back on the road. And so just little things like that just stick in their head. And that way, as they're going about their day, they remember you, they remember the stories, and they want to stay connected and they want to stay a part of your community. And that way, no matter how long this goes, they're getting that value from you. And right now that's huge value. Like people want that connection. They want to hear from you. So definitely have some kind of an outline, because I do think it can get kind of, it could go one of two ways. It could either get too long where you're rambling on, or it can get where you're just like, okay, thanks, bye.
Totally, I
So
totally agree. Especially when you're just starting out for the first time as
yeah,
well. I'm a
yeah,
big fan of just having a little bit of structure, or
yeah,
at least kind of saying, okay, well, I'm to yourself, I'm going to do this one in 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever the time frame might
yeah,
be as well. So Rachel, if we like sitting here where we are today, and we're recording this in kind of the third week of April, it's going out next week, so we'll be hitting this up on the fourth week of April essentially. And at that point in time, as we sit here today, we are starting to see, better, more positive results right across the world. Generally, I think it's fair to say it's starting to get better. And I would imagine that over the next couple of weeks, there's a lot of operators out there that will be starting to think about, what do we do when we reopen the doors of our facility? I mean, that is a thought that I'm sure a lot of people will be starting to have at this point in time. So for our Keep Me Fit Inspiration today, do you want to share with us one, or you can give us three if you want, pieces of advice that you would advise other club operators to do to start now to prepare for when they reopen their doors?
yeah, I think you absolutely should be starting now. We need to start to make a plan, because if we don't have a plan in place, then, you're going to all of a sudden, we don't know when they're going to say you can reopen your doors. And I think, and there's actually gyms opening this week, like in Georgia. I know we have a friend who has a gym in Georgia who's, yeah, they're opening. So,
Wow, there you
you
go.
just don't know, if there's areas that don't have a high occurrence of of COVID, then you might end up getting, the green light to go ahead and open your doors. And so think it through, because we want to make sure we're ready. And so how are you going to, for sure, we want to think about, of course, social distancing. So how many people are you going to allow in your gym? They're going to put restrictions on us. So you don't know, each state's different. So whatever they end up saying, but even without knowing yet, you still should start to think through your own setup and really it might not work how you had it before. So you might need to move equipment around. We're kind of thinking of separate pods, so you have everything you need, right? So it's not everybody using everything. It's, okay, 2 people are using this pod and 2 people are using this pod. And, so you have everything you need in how many different pods you could create in your gym. So that's something to think about, entering and exiting. You don't want to have too many people passing each other. So if people are leaving and people are coming, so you might want to stagger start times, where you have maybe only a couple people starting every 20 minutes or so. Whether you're going to do group classes right away or not. If group classes was a big part of your membership, you got to figure out how can you do that. I know for us, we're probably, when we reopen, not going to have group classes right away. We're probably going to keep our streaming classes and then just start with our more, customized training appointments. So that's something you want to think through. And like on that note, think of your virtual stuff as you do it now. Like, hopefully if you've got it in place, you've got a good system in place, and if it's not where you quite are happy with it for the long term, then start to think about upgrading it and getting it to a point where you feel comfortable with it, that it is something that's a part of your business now, because I think it's a part of our business now. I think it's something that our clients are going to need. And we have a lot of 65 plus year old clients who I don't necessarily know if they should come back to the gym right away, right? Maybe, as time goes on, but we'll see, how it goes. But I want to make sure they're safe. And so I want to make sure that, anybody that is high risk, and doesn't feel comfortable coming back to the gym. I know a lot of our 65 plus year olds probably will. They're going to be like, let me in the door. I don't care. But, but you just want to make sure you have an option for them, so that if they don't feel comfortable, that they have that option. And if there were to be any kind of resurgence, like they're talking, there could be a resurgence again in the fall, or, then, and they, hopefully don't, but what if they shut you down again? Are you ready? So you may as well keep that online remote coaching going, as you open your doors. And then the other thing to think about is what kind of cleaning policies you have. And again, communicating that and making sure that your team are ready to clean regularly, whether that's between every session. I think it's important. And then I think making sure your clients, I think a lot of it does have to go on the clients, the ownership of the clients, to wipe down anything they pick up and then wipe it down after they set it back down. So like literally, whether you're going to have spray bottles or wipes or how you're going to do that, it's definitely something that's going to add an expense to all of our gyms. So we want to, figure out who our sources are for those things. What does that cost? What's that going to look like? How often do we need to be cleaning? And what's our plan going to be? So I think we should start thinking all of that through, everything from the flow of your gym, social distancing, the cleanliness you're going to have, the cleaning schedule, and then also continuing with those remote coaching services. So I guess that was like 3 or 4 pieces.
That's right. As I said, just go for it. And, it kind of reminds me about what we were talking about right at the very beginning, which is we have many operators out there have been fast tracked into the tech side of things, into virtual or on-demand coaching. And I liked what you said about, if you have created something during COVID-19 that is working, but perhaps it's not what you see for the long term, then you're going to have the opportunity to tweak it now and start to make small changes if you need to, but continue on. Make sure that you keep that online facility or option open, because we don't know what's coming. We don't know what the future looks like, and how much better will it be. I don't want to say next time round, but if there is a next time round, how much better will it be if we go into that period prepared and we've got that platform ready to go, or we've got that online service ready to go, or already in operation. So there's so much to think about. And I think that all of those points that you just touched on are absolutely instrumental. And to your point, don't wait. We should be thinking about this stuff now, because who knows when your local government or your area is going to reopen. I know last week I was speaking to an operator in Shanghai, and of course they're already reopened. So everyone's at different stages and different phases of this whole situation. So let's be as prepared as possible. Don't think that, I've got time. Get onto it and start preparing and start planning now. So Rachel, what an absolute pleasure to catch up with you. Congratulations on everything that you've done with Results Fitness, and obviously all of the operators that you work with through the Results Fitness University as well. Thank you for sharing your experience and insights with all of the FBP family here today.
Thank you. I'm excited about our future. I think as an industry, there's going to be a huge opportunity. So yeah, definitely be ready for it. I think we all are going to be much needed as this all comes to an end. So let's all get ready.
Absolutely. Thank you. Another huge thank you to Rachel for joining us today. And I also want to take the opportunity to remind you all that if you want to check out any of the previous episodes that we've recorded, our In the Trenches episodes throughout COVID-19, then simply head over to fitnessbusinesspodcast.com and click on the link for the COVID-19 videos. Last but certainly not least, we couldn't do any of this without our friends and our podcast partners. So a super huge thank you to our podcast partner, One Fit Stop, and also a big thank you to our friends at Gym Sales. Thank you so much for all of your support. That concludes today's interview. Please join me again next week for some more In the Trenches interviews during COVID-19.